HighBridge, a division of Recorded Books, presents The Throwback Special by Chris Bachelder, read by R.C. Bray. What then is the attitude and mood prevailing at holy festivals? Johann Huizinga, Homo Ludens. Prologue. Today in Sports History. November 18th, 1985. Washington Redskins quarterback Joe Theismann, 36, suffers a career-ending compound fracture of the right leg on a sack by New York Giants linebacker Lawrence Taylor during a telecast of ABC's Monday Night Football. On 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line, early in the second quarter, with the score tied 7-7, the Redskins attempt a trick play called a flea flicker. Theismann hands the ball off to tailback John Riggins, who takes several steps forward and then pitches the ball back to Theismann. Theismann looks to throw a deep pass, but he immediately faces pressure from Giants linebacker Harry Carson. "Theismann's in a lot of trouble," says play-by-play commentator Frank Gifford. He steps forward into the pocket to avoid Carson, but Taylor, rushing from Theismann's blind side, leaps onto his back. Theismann ducks, and as Taylor falls and spins, his thigh strikes Theismann in the calf with enough force to snap the bones of Theismann's leg. "It sounded like two muzzled gunshots," Theismann says later. Taylor stands quickly, waving to the Redskins' sideline for medical help. ABC decides to show the reverse-angle replay twice. "And I suggest," Gifford says before the replay, "if your stomach is weak, you just don't watch." "When you see a competitor like Joe Theismann injured, especially this severely, I don't think anyone feels good about it," commentator O.J. Simpson says. Theismann receives an ovation as he is carried from the field at RFK Stadium on a stretcher. "I just hope it's not his last play in football," says commentator Joe Namath. Jay Schrader replaces Theismann at quarterback, and the Redskins defeat the Giants 23-21. Theismann, a former league MVP who had played in 163 consecutive games, never plays again. 1. The Arrival. "Would it—" The woman at the front desk was squinting disapprovingly at her monitor. She touched her temple with her fingertips and blinked slowly, as if reluctant to resume eyesight. She did not look up. "Is there any way that—" The woman twisted her thumb ring, grimaced at the data on the screen. She was not, she made clear, available for hospitality. The thumb ring, purchased from a street vendor, was vaguely Celtic in design. "Would it be possible at all to check in?" Robert's voice was too high. He often had to remind himself to deepen his voice, but invariably it would rise again to a pitch that assured his auditor that he was non-threatening. It was an animal signal. He might as well have had a shaggy tail tucked against his inseam. "I submit to you," the pitch of his voice said. "I acquiesce to the large desk, that brass pineapple. I would like another mint, but I will not take one. That clock behind me is immense, and though it appears to be slow, I will live by its decree." "No," the woman at the front desk said, without looking up from her monitor. "I'm sorry," she added. Robert nodded. "Thank you," he said in a voice so deep that it hurt his larynx. The woman vacated her position, indicating that the interaction was complete. Robert watched her as she walked into a secret room behind the front desk. Though a visitor, he felt abandoned. Robert had been characteristically the first of the men to arrive at the hotel, a 2.5-star chain off Interstate 95, recognized in online reviews for its exceptional service, atrocious service, pretty fountain, and bedbugs. He felt now the familiar burden of concern. It seemed this and every year profoundly unlikely that each of the other 21 men would show up. Standing alone by the fountain, holding a duffel bag and a football helmet, Robert had the anxious sensation that the ritual, seemingly so entrenched, was in fact precarious. He was dimly aware that his habit of arriving prematurely had more to do with apprehension than eagerness. He felt a need to count himself present. The celebrated fountain in the center of the lobby was dry and quiet, cordoned off by yellow tape. A placard that partially obscured a notice from the Department of Health
Sample complete. Ready to continue?